Welcome, everybody, to Wild Card Action. Talladega Superspeedway hosting the Blankenship Freight Lines 400 as the round of 16 in the HTL Cup Series playoffs continues here on ABN. Welcome to a Monday night of jam-packed racing here in Alabama. 2 races remain in the round of 16 tonight and next week in California. For some drivers like John Hagan and Tucker Sawyer, it's a breeze tonight. For others, this could be the most stressful night of the season. We'll learn who's in and who's more likely to be out at the end of tonight's race. ABN coverage of HTL continues next. Qualifying is underway currently. The scenes are being set here. Caitlin Height currently the fastest lap time. We'll get into some of the laps being run as we go through here. Before we do, though, we want to go through the way the points look right now. Currently, this is where the points sit. Those marked in yellow, locked in based on race wins. John Hagan, Tucker Sawyer, they won at Darlington and Watkins Glen. So they're locked into the top 8 no matter what, as long as they start both tonight and next week in Fontana. Hunter Peach, safest of the bunch so far. Then it's Mark Kissenweather, Josh Susie, Eli Sasek, Jeremy Braille, Lily Sharp. They're the ones that have a lot of work to do going into this race. David Smeal Jr. out of the cut line by 4 points. Josh Arnold and Chad Swatsworth, they're out by 8. Kyle Taub in 12th place in points, 20 points out, needs to make up some more ground here tonight. Then you look at some of those further down the order. Blake Henderson, Caitlin Height, they had decent opportunities last week in Las Vegas. They need to capitalize on that momentum here tonight in Talladega. Bailey Thompson and Josh Gaiman, likewise, are going to need some help across these final 2 races before they have to rely on a miracle in Fontana next week. And then you look at the best of the rest. Dean Clavitt in the 90 car tonight, currently doing so as the best of the rest in 17th ahead of Zach Meredith, who had a phenomenal run, 4th place last week at Vegas. Dustin Hall back in the number 1 car this week after Alfred Denny drove that car last week. Austin Mongold, who started on the front row at Vegas, sitting in the top 20 as things sit. But as we mentioned, qualifying is underway. 17 drivers have set lap times so far. Among those that have not yet set lap times is John Hagan. And there's your 97 car on his lap now. Actually, excuse me, he is on a warm-up lap right now. He's coming around to his flying lap. On provisional pole position ahead of Kyle Taub. Ross Baxter had an amazing run in Las Vegas, his 3rd top 10 of the season in Vegas last week. Finished that race in 7th. Carolina Beagle Racing were strong in Las Vegas. They're also strong in the plate tracks. Patrick Oberstadt in 5th for that team as well. KJ Gibney in the 8 car tonight instead of Bren Roberts. Bren Roberts said last week during his interview when he won that he wasn't going to be present here for Talladega. KJ Gibney not racing for his own team, but racing for another Chevrolet team. And he has put that car provisionally in 13th. Chad Swatsworth goes provisional pole. What about John Hagan? Can John Hagan go to the top of the board? No, only 7th place for Hagan. 53.951. Dale Markowski goes 10th fastest. As Hagan goes with the Lambo Leap. Josh Susie. Warm-up lap comes to an end here He's now on his qualifying run. Same with Tyler Ratliff and Austin Mongol. Right now it is Swadsworth and Baxter, scheduled for the front row. Susie goes 7th fastest here in qualifying. Tyler Ratliff comes across our finish line. Let's see what he's got. 54 car across the line goes 11th fastest for Ratliff. Mongol, last car on the racetrack as things currently sit. Things improve for Mongol. Gonna be across our finish line here. And Mongol goes 4th fastest. Great run for Austin Mongol once again in qualifying, this time on a Superspeedway. And that car will come to a close here as qualifying gets ready to come to a close as well. Dean Clavitt and Angel Santiago, they will not set qualifying times here in Talladega. So they will start from row 15. Row 15 will be the last row. 30 cars here for Talladega. And nice and sturdy 30 for tonight's race in Talladega. Reminder, we've got 4 races left in the season as qualifying gets ready to come to a close. You got the Go Time Cards 400 in Fontana next Monday to round out the round of 16. And then the Championship 8, 3 races. The Coulter's Cards 400 at Atlanta, the BFL Night Race at Bristol, and the HTL Championship Race at Kentucky Speedway on July 21st to wrap up Season 6 of the HTL Cup Series. It's the gauntlet of races beginning tonight all the way through the end of the season in Kentucky. We hope you join us for all of those races coming up here for the HTL Cup Series playoffs. Qualifying is concluded, and it is Shad Swadsworth on pole position. With that, we will step aside for a quick moment for a word from the setup provider for the HTL Cup Series. And that is in Team Contis and Performance. Don't go anywhere. Welcome, everyone, to Talladega Superspeedway. Warm-up underway for the Blankenship Freight Lines 400. Going to be a very exciting race to have on hand here tonight. And we're glad you're with us for what should be an exciting race here in Talladega. First plate race with the new aerodynamic package on these 7th generation Cup cars. What was the vast unknown last Monday, not so unknown today. These drivers will have had time to get ready for this race. They're going to know how important it is to link up quickly with teammates and get ready to roll. Talladega Superspeedway, 2.66 miles around this racetrack. The corners 1, 2, 3, and 4, 33 degrees in banking. This is the 10th time that the HTL Cup Series has visited Talladega Superspeedway, the 4th time it's been in the playoffs. For this playoff race, 3 previous winners, Blake Henderson, Chad Swatsworth, who's on pole tonight, and Bianca Constantinu, the last time this race was in the playoffs, was the race winner of it. Remains Constantinu's only oval win in HTL competition. Two stage breaks scheduled tonight, lap 35 and 75. This is the last race of the season with scheduled stage breaks. And the drivers will be best used to try to take advantage of the strategies that come with that. I apologize for the brief silence. I was just typing out the social media message, getting it in. We're live here on Twitch. Having to do things as we go along. All right. So social media is covered. Fantastic. And that gives us time to go over, once again, the standings going into tonight's race here in Talladega. Remember, those marked in yellow, John Hagan, Tucker Sawyer, they're locked in. They had wins at Darlington and Watkins Glen to open up the round of 16. Brendan Roberts, not an eligible playoff driver, despite winning previously at Atlanta. But his second race win, playing spoiler for some of those trying to get into the top 8 here tonight. They've got 2 more chances. If you're in Cyan, if you're Peach, Kissenweather, Susie, Sasek, Brayout, and Sharp, it's about maintaining where you're at. If you're in red, like Smeal, like Arnold, who's so close to being in that cut line, Chad Swatsworth, whose pole position is going to be very important here tonight to try to get some points and put himself in the top 8. You've got some work to do. And then obviously you look at some of those that might need a lot of help or a miracle or two. Henderson, Height, Thompson, Gaiman with the most work to do. I do not believe Gaiman is present tonight. We'll go over that in the starting grid. But it will shape up, have a different vibe for tonight's event. Warm-up is concluded, so we will go ahead and get ready for the starting grid of the BFL 400 here on ABM. Again, we're glad you're with us here. It's going to be a lot of fun as we get ready to go racing. Starting grid popping up on your screen. Chad Swatsworth and Ross Baxter make up your front row. Chad Swatsworth on pole position. Gonna try to grab his second race win while he's at it. But he's going to have a lot of work to do to get there. Ross Baxter going to be a part of one of the stronger teams on plate tracks here tonight. Kyle Taub and Austin Mongold make up row number 2. Austin Mongold once again qualifying top 5. see what he can do in that Dr. Pepper 29. Kyle Taub right behind his teammate, Chad Slothworth, on the inside lane of row 2. Dustin Hall, Josh Arnold make up row number 3. Dustin Hall did not appear in Vegas last week. We'll try to grab his first race win of the season here tonight from the 5th position on the grid. Patrick Overstad and Josh Soucy make up row number 4. It was not a great run for Josh Soucy. It was a podium at Las Vegas last week for Patrick Overstad. Row 5, the top 10 is capped out by that of John Hagan and Mark Kissenweather. Hagan locked in, Kissenweather, your rookie of the year, trying to do the same here tonight in Las Vegas, or here in Talladega. Las Vegas' first positive run at the playoffs after DNFing both Darlington and Watkins Glen. Row 6, Zach Meredith and Tyler Ratliff. Zach Meredith finished 4th last week. Ratliff was on pace for a top 10 finish until crashing out in stage 3 in Las Vegas. Looking for his second career top 10 in HTL competition from 12th on the grid. Dale Markowski, mechanical failure last week in Vegas, will try to recover here in Talladega. Caitlin Hyatt on the outside will start 14th place. Row 8, Blake Henderson and Jeremy Braille, two plate track specialists. Henderson's won here, but in the spring race, Jeremy Braille has won here in Arts. Still looking for his first HTL Cup Series win here tonight. Josh Gaiman is present here tonight. Didn't see him on the list initially, but he is there in the 17th alongside KJ Gibney, driving the number 8. Remember, he is right now driving for Carolina Wheel Racing, not his own team, not Gibney Racing Division. He'll be working with Baxter, with Oberstadt, and with Markowski tonight. Row 10, Eli Sasek and Lily Sharp. Both of them in the top 8 entering this race, but they start down in row 10, 19th and 20th on the grid for them. David Smule Jr. and Elias Flores, row 11 for them. On the outside of the top 20, looking in, David Smule Jr., Monster Energy colors tonight in 21st. Hunter Peach has had some phenomenal runs in the playoffs. It's helped him out significantly. He's second in points, but he starts down in 23rd spot alongside Alfred Denny Sharing, the sponsor of the race, Blankenship Freight Lines, on board that 21 car here tonight. Zach Apperson, his first top 10 of the season came last week in Las Vegas. He'll have to do so from 25th today if he wants to try to do the same. He's alongside teammate Bailey Thompson, who starts in 13th after missing Las Vegas last week. Row 14, the penultimate row, Richard Odie in that Simmer 78 in 27th, 28th. Tucker Sawyer, who is again locked in, provided he starts both tonight and next week in Fontana. And then you have Dean Clavitt and Angel Santiago, who did not set qualifying times for this race. They will start from the back row. A great throwback scheme from Santiago. He will round out this 30 car field. Dean Clavitt, once again in new colors, the snap-on red and black machine, will try to charge to the field. He's won on a plate track, but he's won at Daytona. Did not won here at Talladega. Again, a huge shout out to the setup provider of the HTL Cup Series, Team Contis and Performance. It's been the wild, wild west of changes to all the stock car machines. The new Gen 4s used by Winstel, Gen 7s used by HTL and Arts, Xfinity, Trucks, ARCA, and so much more. Need help navigating, or if you just want that edge in your open officials or in your league races that have open setups, use the QR code or type in teamconti.gg for setups, development, coaching, and more. They provided the setups for what has been the best HTL Cup Series season on track to date. We're hoping for even more here tonight. Pace car pulls in. And 30 cars get ready to roar forward, led by Shad Swathworth. Green flag flies, and the BFL 400 is underway. We're racing in Talladega. 2 laps in the books here in Talladega. It is Swatsworth, Taub, and Dustin Hall we're right on board with there on that second lap that lead the way ahead of Patrick Overstat and John Hagan, who's made his way into the top 5. For those that have just tuned in, welcome to the BFL 400 here in Talladega. Those marked in cyan, the light blue color, are in the playoffs right now. Those in the dark blue are not. 2 races to go until the round of 8, the championship 8s. We have 16 playoff drivers right now. We'll be eliminating half at the end of next week's race in Fontana. Swatsworth hugging the yellow line is one of those in by a small margin, 4 points. Sorry, he's out by 8 points, excuse me. Looking for every single point he can get right now. And he leads the way from pole position. His teammate Kyle Taub behind him, also in the playoffs, but Kyle Taub a little bit further back in the order, 20 points out of the cut line. So both of them need some help. All 3 militia cars that are not marked Kissenweather need help. Josh Arnold, 2 car, also made the playoffs, but sits outside the top 8 as well, sits also 8 points out of the cut line. So it is a race against the clock for Militia Racing Club to get as many of their cars into the championship 8 as they can. Remember, a win automatically guarantees you a championship 8 spot as long as you start every race in the playoffs. Imperative that they try to control the field from the front, and so far they're doing that. Austin Mongold help from Ratliff on the outside lane, trying to make some inroads on that outside lane. Caitlin Height third in line, also in need of a win to get in to the championship 8. Our Daytona 500 winner from this season, trying to do their stat. Here comes Overstat. Patrick Overstat. Outside lane, that Kroger number 60. With help from Hagan, with help from Mongold. Third lane trying to develop further back. I do believe that is Blake Henderson that is further back. It is, the 25. He's got help from Denny. He's got help from Thompson. And he's going to get jumped in front of here by KJ Gibney, and Gibney thinks better of it. Sawyer outside lane as well, nothing to lose for him. And then Dean Clava, who used the outside lane to pick and roll through the back of the field. 3 lanes, big bump there from Denny to Henderson. There goes Jeremy Braille, looks to the outside, thinks better of it, and it will allow the 4 of Apperson. 2 BFL cars there on the outside lane. Here comes Clavitt on the outside lane now once again. Everyone trying to pick up some momentum on the high lane, while Hagan's taking over the race lead. Ratliff now controls the outside lane. It seems like that outside lane, that third lane, not going to be productive as Clavitt will fall backwards. Henderson closer to the field now is in 17th position. Caitlin Height right now sitting top 4. Second car outside lane. Hagan leads the way, trying to control both lanes. Mongold on the inside lane behind him. Ratliff in the 54 leads the outside lane. Clavitt once again trying the third lane, the upper lane. There's 31 of Davis Moon Jr., the 8 of KJ Gibney as well. A lot of Chevrolets up near the front. The outside lane really stalls out right there door-wise, right next to the second place car in line on the outside. And here goes Caitlin Height. KJ Gibney goes to the outside lane as well. You look at the outside momentum. That's got momentum, and there goes Mongold. And caution's going to come out. Mongold got turned in front of the field and hit Caitlin Height. One car did not start, and that was Josh Gaiman. So that almost definitely puts his playoff hopes on the back burner, if not his entire season. The trouble for Austin Mongold here early. Down the 28th position. An absolute disaster for Mongold and for a lot of the field there. Surprised it was not any worse. Here's a look at what happened. We'll grab our chopper cam from high above. This is just a bad case of 3 cars pushing. You can do well when you've got a third car behind you closing up that bubble, but when it's physical contact like this, it just doesn't work. And you're seeing that with Patrick Oberstadt. Gets that right side of the bumper. Mongold gets turned. Everyone's got a fast repair here. Some drivers are going to try to elect not to use it, including Mongold. That is a really bad case of really unusual case of bad pushing there for Patrick Oberstadt that we've not really seen that often from him. Riding on board, you can see how close he already is to Mongold here. We'll do AV in slow motion from the onboard shot here. Yeah, he's pushing so hard on Mongold. You just can't do that, unfortunately. And off the nose he goes, and it's going to bring the entire field down pit lane as a result, except for Lily Sharp. So Lily Sharp ahead will lead a lap here. There's no bonus points for leading a lap. There's no bonus points for leading the most laps. There are stage points, and then there's your points for the end of the race. So Lily Sharp thinking about track position, but has never won on a plate track. Only win an HTL Cup Series career has come on a road course, the Daytona road course. 11 top 5s, 24 top 10s, and her 80th career start tonight. Looking for her second career win. She's in the top 8 right now. She's above the cut line, but trying to stay that way. Everyone came down the pit lane except for Sharp. Hagen came down the pit lane, 7 wins in his career. Still looking for that 8th, the 7th of the season, which would tie the record set by Josh Susie back in season 4. 12 career poles, including last week in Las Vegas. 18 top 5s, 19 top 10s. If he's in the top 10, chances are he's up near the front at the end of these races. It's not been great showings, though. He retired from Las Vegas, crashed out in Nevada last week. But this is where he can go. He can go for broke. He's locked in. He won at Darlington. He's playing with house money right now. Just trying to play spoiler for anyone else trying to lock themselves in with a race win. Patrick Oberstadt looking for his first career HTL Cup Series win at a track type that he is very, very strong at. Finished 3rd in Las Vegas. Trying to add to that for the 60 team. Not in the playoffs. You can tell that between the difference between the cyan and the dark blue. But he would also be playing spoiler. Chad Swasworth, your pole sitter. 7th career pole. And his 106th start. 27 top 5s, 51 top 10s, 4 career wins, 1 this season. Way back earlier in the year. Trying to add to it as well. Kyle Talbin 6 just behind him. Caitlin Height, winningest driver in HTL Cup Series history, 16 wins, 10 pole positions. You see the top 5s and top 10s. Immaculate run of form across her HTL Cup Series career. 46 top 5s, 55 top 10s, and 79 starts, including tonight. Kyle Taub, 26th career start. 4 top 5s, 8 top 10s. Not been the season that he's been hoping for, but he's in a good spot right now, 6th place. And then it's Tyler Ratliff on the inside, row number 4. His first career top 10 at Darlington. At the start of the playoffs, 54 camp. Trying to make the most of the season for NFG Motorsports. Zach Meredith in 8th place. 75th career start, former series champion with 2 wins. 10 top 5s, 29 top 10s. Josh Susi, defending 2-time champion. 12 wins, 30 top 5s, 40 top 10s, 4 poles. And his 66th start tonight, and then KJ Gibney filling in the number 8 car. 69th career start, nice. 1 career win back in season 2, 3 top 5s, 9 top 10s. That's an in-depth look at your top 10 for this first official restart of the race. It is in the hands of Lily Sharp, who will lead the field to green. Sharp, Hagan, Oberstadt, Swatsworth, your top 4. And away we go, racing once again here in Talladega. Away we go. Outside lane is moving and moving quickly. Hagan, Swatsworth, and Taub. Hagan abandons Swatsworth and Taub immediately. The teammates were going to hook back up together and try to take the lead away from Hagan. Toyotas lead both lanes. Third lane right now being led by Alfred Denny. They're still trying that third lane to see if it'll work. Flores up there with Thompson and Denny. Looks like more cars have jumped down the outside lane. That is Smeal and Peach. And the middle lane currently has prevailed. 3 cars out in front. Dustin Hall in that group. As well as Zach Meredith in the 17. 3-car tandem. They have broken away. It is Hall, Susi, and Sasek middle lane. Smeal, Peach, and Denny leading the outer lane. We pulled up the stats earlier. Talladega, lap 35, the end of stage 1. It is a scheduled stage break. A caution will come out the end of 35. Everyone thinks right now they're good to go until the end of the stage. 27 to 30 laps on the fuel mileage. They would be right unless you're Lily Sharp. Lily Sharp has not pit yet in this race. She's hoping for another yellow without being in it. But Lily Sharp has had no support. It's already dropped down to 8th place. Swatsworth back to the front of the field. As we get ready to go, rumbling here in stage 1. Coming 20 laps to go in the stage. Dustin Hall, Josh Seuss, Eli Sasek, the outer lane now prevailing. There is Josh Arnold as well, the 2. Trouble, a little bit further back. That is Alfred Denny in trouble. Saves it. That was off the nose of Bailey Thompson, but completely killed any chance of that outside lane. And they're going to potentially lose the draft here. The trouble for them, Austin Mongold also falling back. He is down in 25th position, sorry, 26th. For Austin Mongold. And that'll thin out the field just a little bit. Henderson, and it looks like that is Smeal once again looking at the outer lane. That's an opportunity, but it is them on their own. The inside lane is where it's at right now. Hall leads. Susi Sasek, Wadsworth, Taub, Meredith, Sharp, Oberstadt, Gibney, and Hagen, who round out your top 10. Caitlin Height also shuffled further back in 20th place and falling. Both Caitlin Height and Blake Henderson needing miracles to get into the championship 8 with how bad their playoff run has been. Caitlin Height's playoff run began in Vegas last week, did not race in Darlington or Watkins Glen. Bongold off the pace as things sit right now. Ryan Moore with Caitlin Height, who was in the top 10 for the restart and quickly went backwards, moves to the bottom lane behind Markowski. See the bottoming out these cars are doing. All those sparks, that is contact with the road. And look at that momentum Caitlin Height grabbed off of Elias Flores. From the inside to the middle, there's Henderson just up the road ahead of her. Her teammate in the 31. Falling back, as is Patrick Oberstadt, John Hagen, and others. A little bit of bumping to Henderson. Up to 20th place for Caitlin Height. Jeremy Brayout goes backwards a little bit as well. That outside lane just not working right now. It just isn't going anywhere. Car is completely squatted to the floor. It's going to make these cars a handful a little bit. It's going to make that outside lane harder to drive as well because it is bumpier up the track. The upper lane not used as much, weathered in more, exposed more to the elements. It doesn't have that rubber sealant to it that these cars usually produce. And that could be a factor that's preventing that outside lane from working with this car being so low to the ground. So many people are trying it because traditionally the outside lane has been the lane to be in. Usually that outside lane is the winning lane. It has been everything but tonight. It's been the middle and the low lane especially still prevailing with Dustin Hall, Josh Susie, and Eli Sasek being in the safest spots. Caitlin Height in the middle is better than being on the outside lane. I just don't think as this run goes along that outside lane is going to work at all. Looking at just how the car is handling right now, how low it is to the ground, all the sparks as it makes contact with the ground. I don't know if that outside lane is going to work tonight. It'll be interesting to see if any of these specialist teams like Carolina Beagle can figure it out. They've not had to yet. We saw Patrick Oberstadt fall backwards, but he was on his own there and was sort of by design. Middle lane seems to be where your best chance is. Teammates working up there. It's a tandem of two with Peach leading Tyler Ratliff. And they're not losing nearly as much time as the outside lane is. You can see it right now. Caitlin Height moves to the outside lane and they immediately fall backwards. It's like a parachute on the outside lane. There's just nothing out there. Numbers is going to help out a little bit here as the outside lane gets some momentum going, but it's against a two-car tandem that has not worked here at Talladega since 2012. And you're going to see that they're going to gravitate towards the middle immediately once they get clear of Peach and Ratliff. They're going to box them in. It's going to leave Frayall on the outside lane with Thompson with support. And the inside lane is just going to continue to walk away here. Gibney leads Hagen on the outside lane ahead of David Smith Jr. Dustin Hall, if you're Josh Susie, you're loving this right now because they are struggling to get to you. The thing is with the outside lane as well, you're going to burn up your stuff a little bit more. These cars very temperature sensitive. Oil temperatures, water pressure temperatures. These engines are going to cook a lot quicker on the outside lanes because you're going the longer way around. It takes more effort to close in that gap. Hagan pushing for all he's got right now. And again, he's got a little more to spare. He's already locked in to the championship 8. Whereas Gibney's not even involved in the playoffs, and Davis Muir Jr. is very close to the cut line. We'll see what they can do here. Sharp is pulled clear of Gibney. Gibney, not renowned as being a plate track specialist, has not finished a plate race yet this season. His lone HTL Cup Series win came from Richmond back in season 2. He's supposed to be being on the short track side of things in the super speedways. And despite all the help, he is just not getting anywhere on that inside lane. He's being cleared. He's being cleared by Sharp. He's being cleared by Baxter, being cleared by Josh Arnold. And now Hagan goes to the outside lane, sees Caitlin Height coming, and hoping that a Daytona 500 winner can do something on that outside lane. Funny because Height's teammates are mostly on the middle or inside lane. Caitlin Height, though, in desperation mode, needs points quickly and needs stage points as well. Unless you can just go out and win this race, which Caitlin Height's not banking on, you need stage points and quick. Right now, she's up to 11th place. But you're seeing here another side effect of being 3 wide. That middle lane also losing its effectiveness. It's allowing the inside lane, the shortest way around, to gain even more. Gibney leading that middle lane down in the 11th position and losing. Hagan gets to the middle lane, but now has to wait for Gibney to get to him, and it's going to allow Caitlin Height to grab the advantage on the outside lane with help from Hunter Peach. Blake Henderson moves to the bottom. He gets where he wants to be. Car about to go a lap down. That is the 29 of Mongold. They're approaching him at a fast rate of speed as well. We're right on board with him for a quick moment and show you just how alone he is. His lap time compared to being in the draft, 5 seconds different. Almost 6 seconds different, really. 49.2 compared to 54.9. They are coming in a hurry. He's got to do something fast. This is going to be dangerous for Austin Mongold. And he's going to go below the yellow line. He knows he is going to be a sitting duck. He's going to go below the yellow line, which you can do when you're not gaining position. Austin Mongold obviously just letting the field go by here. He's going to be the only car a lap down. So he will get the free pass at the end of stage 1 on lap 35. Top 4 remains out and ahead, but remember, Lily Sharp has to make a pit stop. Has not pit yet in this race. Everyone else put on lap 9. They are good to go until the end of the stage. Sharp will need to come down pit lane for a splash and dash. It'll move Sharp out of the points paying positions for stage 1 when that happens, unless Sharp can somehow save enough fuel. Again, the window closer to 27 to 30 laps. She has to save a full 5 laps of fuel. That's harder to do the further up the front of the field you go. Hunter Peach with support from John Hagan. Finally making some inroads at the end of stage 1. Trying to get to the front of the field. Peach level with Sasek for just a moment. John Hagan had to let off. He had to get that engine cooled down. He's going to push him again. Big time pushes further back in the pack. That is Markowski being pushed by Oberstadt. Dustin Hall has led a lion's share of the laps here in stage number 1. 13 laps led, make that 14 laps led out of the first 28 laps. He has led half the first stage of this race. Doing great with it as well. Six laps to go when we get to the start-finish line here in Talladega for stage number 1. Hall, Susie, Sasek, Sharp, Peach, your top 5. Peach leading the outside lane, struggling to make inroads. Got to the door of Sasek, but has gotten no further. I do wonder if Josh Susie's going to rock the boat here at the end of the stage, trying to go for the maximum stage points, that stage win, or if he's going to, if it's going to backfire, because that outside lane is just not working. Whoa, big bump there from Ross Baxter. That was off the nose, I believe, of Josh Arnold, and it was. And it checked up that inside lane. Pete finds his way to the bottom. He's going to be fifth on the inside lane now, and now it's going to leave Hagan in the hands of KJ Gibney. See what he can do. Hagan goes to the bottom of the racetrack as well. Does not trust the 8 car at all. And now everyone trying to figure out what they want to do. Arnold goes middle lane, outside of Baxter. Peach goes back to the outside lane. Remember, Sharp's got to come down pit lane. The 19 car, fourth in line on the bottom. It is a 3-car breakaway of Sasek, Susie, and the leader, Dustin Hall, that are going to try to get to the end of this stage in one piece. Arnold and Peach. Outside lane, Peach in the 20, Arnold in the 2. Bottom of the racetrack for Hall. He's been there since the restart on lap 13. Hugging that yellow line. Susie's okay with it right now, so is Sasek. But now Hunter Peach is in range. If Susie's going to go for the race lead, now would be the time to do so. Peach out a little bit far ahead of the 2 of Arnold. There'll be an accordion down the back straightaway. Sasek side by side with Pete. Top 10 score stage points. Those in Cyan needing all the points they can get right now. Here comes Sharp for that splash and dash on cue. Saved 2 laps, couldn't save any more than that. And that'll move Sharp out of the points in stage 1. And a lesson learned for stage 2 when the field pit with him. Whoa, trouble, Thompson. Thompson in trouble, and this will end the stage. Stage is over. Trouble for, I believe that's Odie and Sawyer. Bailey Thompson, I believe that engine let go. Engine let go for somebody. I'm not sure who it would have been, but we saw the smoke that indicated an engine failure. Still hearing engine fire from the 27. So we're not sure if it was Thompson or not that had that failure. And that bails out Lily Sharp from going a lap down, but we know the stage was going to end anyway. Stage ends early. Dustin Hall, Josh Susie, and Eli Sasek get your stage points. And all of this happened outside the top 10. So we're not going to really know if Peach and Susie would have went for that stage win. Here's what happened. We'll back it up a little bit here because it's a little bit more wild from there. Let's see if we can ride on board here with Bailey Thompson as well. Really good onboard here of the 27 car, struggling on that outside lane. Behind David Smoot Jr. No, actually, just gets turned. That is very interesting. We saw the puff of smoke here. Let's see if we can get one from our chopper cam there in turns 1 and 2. Back up the camera, and we'll do it in slow motion. Oh, possibly turned by Kissenweather. Keep an eye on the 12. It's Henderson in the 25 right behind Thompson, so teammates working together there. Kissenweather in the 12 behind the 74 of Jimmy Braille. This is going into turn 1. Kissenweather trying to side draft off of Henderson here. Going into turns 1 and 2. Is there contact or is it net code? I think that's legitimate contact. Netcode's going to exacerbate it a little bit, but Kissenweather just drifts up right into the 27 of Bailey Thompson. Door bangs off the 99 of Flores, gets hit by the 95 of Sawyer. There's a 78 of Odie, who had nowhere to go. Caitlin Height avoids another one by the skin of her teeth. But a hard hit there for Denny, for Sawyer, who's nose first into the fence, for Odie. And all of them will need to use their fascia pair to keep going here tonight. Caitlin Thompson on pit lane. Josh Susie will leave pit lane as your race leader. Top 5 all jumbled up here. Susie, Arnold, Meredith, Sasek, and Peach. As we start lap 35 here in Talladega, we'll step aside for a brief moment from a word from Team Conti. Don't go anywhere. The BFL 400 here at Talladega continues next on ABN. Welcome back, everyone, to ABN's coverage of the HTL Cup Series playoffs. Round of 16 action underway. It is the PFL 400 here from Talladega Superspeedway. A very hot summer's day across the United States. We hope you're all staying safe, staying hydrated, having some fun here this summer. It is Josh Susie, Josh Arnold leading the field to green for the start of stage 2. Zach Meredith, Eli Sasek, Hunter Peach, your top 5 here in Daytona. Here in Talladega, excuse me. Wow, I don't know why I said Daytona. We're not going back to Daytona for a while. Here at Talladega, the largest super speedway in the United States. We've had 2 cautions, one for a spin for Austin Mongol, who got the free pass. And then the most recent caution, lap 33, for Bailey Thompson, Richard Odie, Tucker Sawyer, and Alfred Denny. Restart coming up here, presented by Team Conti Sim Performance. If you're overwhelmed by all the changes that have happened the last couple weeks to all the stock cars on the service, whether it's the trucks, Xfinity, the 7th gen Cup cars on your screen, the new Gen 4s, or the ARCA cars, Team Conti's got your know-how, led by one of the greatest in eNASCAR history, Michael Conti. You've got setups, you've got development, you've got coaching, and more. The QR code's the gateway to it, or type in teamconti.gg on your favorite web browser. Official setup providers of the HTL Cup Series all season long. Josh Susie trying to punch his ticket into the Championship 8. It's been a very underwhelming season for the 81 team. but he will lead the field to green, trying to right the ship at the perfect time. Playoff Susie is unlike anything else here in HTL, statistically speaking. We'll see what he can do from the front of the field with a clear windshield for this restart. Start lap 37 here in Talladega. Green flag is in the air, and away we go. We are racing once again. Susie leads right now, trying to control both lanes. Meredith behind him, two former champions, including your defending champion, Susie. A little bit of a screen freeze, it looks like, here on our broadcast feed. We apologize for that technical issue. There we go. Got it resolved, so here we go. We're back running. You haven't missed a thing. Susie and Meredith working together right now. Susie continues to lead. Pete falling back a little bit. As Henderson, look at Blake Henderson, the 25. Making his way forward. He's now up into third place right now. Third place inside lane. There's Flores, also top 5 right now as things sit. Top 5 all broke out away from Hunter Peach. Make that top 6 with Patrick Oberstadt. That's Susie, Meredith, Henderson, Flores, Smeal, and Oberstadt. And they're going to go 3 wide behind the Militia racing cars, trying to make some headway here. It's Taub ahead of Swatsworth, ahead of Arnold. A little bit of latency for Flores, who's shuffled out to the middle lane. And he will begin his descent down the order. We saw him having a little bit of latency issues earlier in the race in stage 1, and it's biting him a little bit harder here. He's going to get a little bit of help from his teammate Eli Sasek, and then we'll check up the middle lane. Meanwhile, it's back to the tandem effort for Peach and for the 54 of Tyler Ratliff as Tucker Sawyer gets ready to go a lap down. He goes below the yellow line to let the field go by. The courteous thing to do. Not everyone does it, but some do. Austin Mongol did earlier. Tucker Sawyer does as well. Tucker Sawyer, nothing to fight for here. He is locked into the round of 8 already with his win at Watkins Glen. He can kind of sit and cruise and wait for the big one to happen. Dustin Hall gets to the outside lane, trying to lead the outside lane back to glory. Susie pushed Dustin Hall to the stage 1 win. Don't know if he was intending to or not. The stage ended early with that caution, that second yellow of the day. Regardless, Dustin Hall grabbed the full stage points there. Josh Susie grabbed a helpful handful of 9 points there in stage 1. And that's why it's so important for some drivers like Henderson right now to be in the conversation, at least for stage 2. Get some of those stage points if you can. Right now, Henderson's looking to try to maximize that. 10 points for a stage win. For Henderson's at right now in 4th, that's 7 stage points. For someone who is 26 points out of the cut line, that helps him significantly get closer to a bad bump by between Meredith and Dustin Hall. Meredith moved up to the outside lane, but a little bit off from Blake Henderson in that move. And that allows Henderson to move right to the bumper of Josh Susie. And now Henderson's looking at 9 stage points. Closes that gap all the way down to 17 points. In the stage alone, car moved out of the way. That is Dustin Hall. I don't know if he got moved by Bailey Thompson or if he moved out of the way on his own from Bailey Thompson, as if there could be an issue on that one car. He drops to the back of the field, so he looks like he was voluntarily moving out of the way following that bad bump to the 17 of Meredith. And that outside lane is withering as a result, having to do that checkup. Meredith now on his own and dropping out of the top 10 at a breakneck speed. Hagan moves to the outside lane. And then back to the inside lane. Besides, it's pretty nice sitting up in the top 6. Sitting nice and flush right now. Hagan, obviously not someone to sit idle, one of the most aggressive drivers in the series, but unlike Peltier Sharp, who has not had the results to go for it, Hagan's got 6 wins this season, looking for a 7th. Obviously, feast or famine for Hagan. Obviously, he's had a phenomenal season this season. 2 seasons ago, he got suspended for his aggressive behavior. But right now, he's using that in the best of ways. Right now, pushing Patrick Overstadt. Trying to get the 60 car to the front. Outside lane, once again reforming all 4 militia cars together. The 18, the 16, the 12, and the 2. But again, that outside lane, that very far outside lane near the wall, you need to have a numbers advantage, we're seeing, for that to work. Before, you could use a small number like the militia 4-car tandem, get to the quarter panel, and then side draft your way forward. You can kind of chain your way forward with side drafting, sort of just leapfrogging through the outside lane. That's not happening now. That's one of the effects of the changes made to this car. That is no longer a possibility. And once again, the stall out is pretty significant here for Patrick Overstadt at the front of the outside lane. Got to the door of Henderson and got no further. Previously, with the previous aero configuration, being on the outside lane, it worked out really well because you had the side draft advantage. You had the leverage in side drafting the bottom lane. Oh, dangerous move by Susie, trying to push Overstadt up the hill. That actually could have been really clever. It pushes them to the very far outside lane. There was the hope that someone would move to the middle lane and that the middle and outside lane would cross each other again. That did not happen. At least not at the front. Neil third in line on the inside lane. His teammate leading the line and the race. Susie leads that lap as well. Overstadt with help from John Hagan. And just like that, gets clear. And now it's Hagan's turn to get help from Zach Meredith. And that all happened. Henderson got right to the bumper with Susie and almost overheated that car. That 25's engine was crying for help. Henderson had to let off a little bit to cool the engine down, and that gave the outside lane the leverage that they needed to move back forward. And now that Oberstadt and Susi have hooked up, they are going, and gone. 4-car breakaway in front of the field once again. Almost 5 cars there. Sharp back in the mix in 5th. I think Sharp learning a very valuable lesson from stage 1. Losing out on a lot of stage points, was sitting comfy in the top 4 and had to pit because she didn't pit when the field did. Right now, everyone's got a pit stop to make here in stage number 2. Stage 2 ends on lap 75, so they had to go 40 laps. And we know that that's not possible because 35 wasn't possible in stage 1. A matter of when that pit stop does take place. Pull the track information up one more time. 75, the stage break, and that is a scheduled stage break too. So, last scheduled caution of the season. Stage breaks were only used for road courses and plate tracks this season. I think pretty successful strategy, moving the intermediates and the short ovals to a non-stage break variety. 27 to 30 laps is the fuel window. We'll bring up the alternate ticker so you can kind of see what is going on here. 17 laps for just about everybody. Some people topped off the fuel on that caution, so they've got an extra lap that they can use. But as we look down throughout the field, it is 17 for everybody on the lead lap right now. Markowski, another retirement. Technical failure for him once again out of this race. Tucker Sawyer 1 lap down, about to go 2 laps down. Remember how wounded his car has been. Austin Mongold, Angel Santiago also up to go a lap down. And they're going to go to the outside lane because the leaders are approaching quickly. Sawyer also about to go to the outside lane to get out of the way here. Oberstadt, Susi, Henderson continue to lead the way over Smeal, Hagen, and Sharp. Single file, first 8 cars, and then you get to Alfred Denning. I think do Denny with help from Thompson. Once again, those two trying to work together for Unforgiven Motorsports. Hagan moves up to the outside lane as well. I do wonder if Hagan does what he does, but it's because he's bored. Because he had a comfy position. He was in the top 5. And he gives it up to move to the outside lane. I wonder if he just does it because he's bored. That would be pretty typical John Hagan stuff. Because he just lost 2 positions as a result from 5th. Really, from 5th to 8th, he lost 3 spots. He lost to Sharp, Sasek, and Meredith. Remember, not everyone is also pushing at the same time as well. There is a definite disconnect in the field. Who's pushing and who's not, because there is a pit stop coming up for the field. They pit on lap 34 or 35 if you're someone like Denny or Apperson and topped off of fuel. So you know you're pitting within the next 10 laps, if not sooner. Two cautions on the day, and they were both in stage 1. Stage 2 has been pretty free of any drama. In fact, cars go a lap down due to damage from those opening cautions. Tucker Sawyer, Austin Mongold, Angel Santiago. A lap down. Richard Odie about to become the next driver to go a lap down here. He will go a lap down in this stage, unless a caution comes out before they get to him. The story of the race has been the outside lane and lack of its effectiveness. Outside lane was the winner's lane. Last time we were here at Talladega, it worked out phenomenally. It traditionally has. Not so much today. Outside lane has failed on just about every level so far, and it's been a struggle for those trying to piece together a run, because you can't do it on the inside lane. Everyone's already there. Once again, it is Susi sitting in the 2nd spot, this time pushing Overstaff. But Susi keeping great company. A couple of plate track specialists around him. Susi no slouch as well, even though his records don't really show that. He's got a lot of lap slates, he's got a lot of top 5 appearances in plate tracks. It usually does not end well when you look at the final stage and the results on paper. Yeah, Davis Boone Jr. in 4th as well. He's someone else who also has been snake bitten a lot on these plate tracks. Outside lane's moving forward a little bit. This is Alfred Denny and Bailey Thompson's work right now on that middle lane. Outside lane of Jeremy Braille is a lane of 1. A singular car getting help from nobody. And Braille will drop back behind. That is the 90 of Dean Clavitt. Odie up the road, about to go a lap down here in about a couple laps. Remember, 6 laps, 6 seconds a lap difference between having the slipstream, having the draft, being in the pack, and being on your own. It is a miserable time. Still 5 cars single file front of the field from Overstat to Sharp. Another car about to go a lap down. Is that Sawyer again? I do believe it might be. No, he is already in this group. Odie's also already in this group, so the person that they're coming up on, I don't know who that is that they're coming up to. I guess we'll find out. It's Markowski. Markowski back on the racetrack after his technical failure. He's going his 5th lap down, unfortunately, but he's got an okay car. if he can get himself back and ingrained in this group, he could help his team out here because, again, Carolina Bugle Racing, one of the best late track teams in the series. That's a numbers advantage that Carolina Bugle Racing might be able to maintain. Lap 60 completed, which means pit stops coming here within the next 5 laps. And you can tell those that are primed and in position to come down pit lane and those that are not. If you're on the yellow line, you have the easiest access to pit lane. Notice how all but 7 cars are in that inside lane. I have a feeling we are very close to seeing those pit stops take place here. Long single file train. Who will be the first to bite the bullet and come down? And it's going to be a decent chunk of the field. Can you get one up in time? Kyle Taub could not. And trouble for Swatsworth as well. Swatsworth half spin, Kyle Taub unsafe pit entry. 5 cars in the 3 of them got through cleanly. The other 2 did not, including your pole sitter. First green flag pit stop of the day. And now everyone knows that they've got to be a lot more careful. Oberstadt, Susie Henderson, top 3. All but 2 on the inside lane. Thompson on the outside lane. Again, some come in, some do not. Thompson trying to slot into the inside lane. Got hip checked by Flores out of the way. Flores said, nah, gotta think better than that. And that's exactly what happened. Thompson loses out and loses out to the lap car of Richard Odie as well. Gibney is spun. Trouble for Gibney on his pit stop. We'll see what happened to him. Coming to pit lane. This was the same issue that Kyle Talbot encountered as well. And oh, he doesn't even get close. Actually spins to the right. No caution because no traffic behind him. But nightmare stuff for Gibney, who will have an unsafe pit entry penalty to serve as well. And here comes Henderson and some others. Denny coming down to pit lane as well. Teammates all together there in that run. Gibney once again serving a penalty there for unsafe pit entry. Everyone else looking to come down pit lane this time around. See how this all plays out. Again, more staggered running here. It's going to put Sharp in the race lead. Ooh, very hot for Ross Baxter. I don't think he got there in time. That might be a penalty for Ross Baxter. And that's going to be very unfortunate for him. Sharp now leads the way. Dustin Hall, Blake Henderson, and the Tombstone Unforgiven cars have made out like bandits here. It's going to be 7 cars in this group together, though. 4 Fords in 3 Chevrolets. It will be Susie, Smeal, and Caitlin Height in this group. So if you're in this group, you're in pretty safe company. As the rest of the field comes out, Patrick Oberstadt nowhere close to this group. He will be nowhere close to the race lead. They're going to fly by the 29 Austin Mongold as well. And this, your group of 7 cars right here, this is your lead pack. This is your lead pack right here. Great stuff by these 7 cars in particular. A lot of cars with penalties having to be served. Swatsworth, Taub. Unfortunately, neither of them, it looks like, getting penalties here. I would have assumed that they might have gotten penalties, at least Taub, for his unsafe pit entry. That was not the case. However, it is the case for Gibney. The 8 car now firmly a lap down, serving that penalty. 40 seconds was the penalty there for Gibney. Sharp, Deach, Ratliff in pit lane right now as Sasic. That is Braille, the 74, and then Ross Baxter, who is a lap down after also serving a penalty for speeding on pit lane. Come out pit lane together, so it's going to be 9 cars on the lead lap in this group. And they have broken away from the rest. And I think Eli Sasic coming back down pit lane, speeding on pit exit. Oh no. Another penalty for Eli Sasic, speeding on pit exit. The last 3 that need to make a pit stop. They're coming around turn 2 right now. Gonna try to hold on to the tail end of this group as they fly by at almost 200 miles an hour. They're going to be part of this group. So about 12 cars on the lead lap in this conversation right now. Ross Baxter a lap down. Richard Odie 2 laps down. Sasic having to serve a penalty will be the next to go a lap down. Very unfortunate there for Sasic. It is Dustin Hall that leads over Blake Henderson, over Alfred Denny, and oh, trouble! Teammates spun each other, and the caution comes out. That was David Spiel Jr. and Josh Susie. That bails out Eli Sasic. Ross Baxter will be the free pass. Oh my goodness, with coming to 7 laps to go in the stage. It is teammates that wreck each other here in stage 2. Stage 2 does not end because the caution's with more than 5 laps to go. So we'll have a shootout here at the end of the stage. That's not what the top 12 wanted. They were set up and ready to go. And now the field's gonna be back together again. That is the most unfortunate circumstances there. I do wonder what would have caused that. We're going to find out. So this is the replay. This is into turns 1 and 2. Grab our handy dandy chopper cam. Did Smeal get pushed by Braille? We'll back it up here just a little bit and see what we can gather from this. So keep an eye on the 31, the 81. Those are the 2 main ones involved in the accident. Richard Odie also collected in this, and I think his day is done. This is heading into turn 1. 3 Fords up ahead. No, that's on Susie drifting up the racetrack. That's not Braille turning Smeal, unfortunately. That's on the 81 of Josh Susie. Drifting up the racetrack a little bit. Obviously, the inside lane, not realizing what's going on here. Thompson runs into Susie. Sharp runs into Thompson. Odie nowhere to go. Caitlin Height gets clipped a little bit by her teammate there. So almost 3 cars in one go there for Gibney Racing Division. And down the racetrack, all of them slide. And immediate trouble for the field. That is so unfortunate because we were shaping up to have a very interesting fight, a very interesting team battle here on board with Susie. Watches as the field drives him by. On board with Richard Odie. Hard hit for Odie, nowhere to go. Caitlin Knight almost got completely crashed out of this as well. And I think Odie knows pretty clearly there's not a whole lot he can do here at this situation. His car is completely broken. So car is on pit lane right now. Extended repairs for some. Markowski and Santiago will try to get the wave around here. This will put Santiago back on the lead lap. This will get Markowski to, I believe, if we're looking at the numbers correctly, he'll end up being 3 laps down. Yeah, no official retirements just yet, but Odie, strike 2. You usually are pretty well out of it by this point. Josh Gaiman did not start the race. So it'll be Oberstadt, Hagen, Henderson, Denny, Kissenweather, Sharp, Ratliff. In your top 7, Peach, Arnold, and Clavitt rounding out your top 10. Santiago will get back on the lead lap in 24th place. Markowski in 28th will get 1 lap back. He'll be 3 laps down for this restart. As we mentioned before, the 38 of Ross Baxter, the free pass recipient from that 3rd caution of the race. And we have a sprint until the 4th caution, which will end stage number 2. We'll be going green with 3 laps to go in the stage. Odie still on pit lane. First car lap down now is that of KJ Gibney. Austin Mongold also 1 lap down. 2 laps down for Tucker Sawyer. Del Markowski 3 laps down as things currently sit. Oberstadt, Hagen, Denny, Henderson, Sharp, Kissenweather, Ratliff, Peach, Clavitt, Arnold, top 10 as things run. Top 10 score stage points at the end of lap 75 or the next caution if we have a caution come out right before then. Oberstadt chose the outside lane for this restart. Very interesting, given the struggles we've seen on the outside lane all race long. We'll see how it plans out here tonight for the end of stage 2. Has Carolina Buell Racing figured out something? We're going to see what they've got up their sleeve. Again, for those tuning in, we're glad you're with us here for the BFL 400 here on AVN for the HTL Cup Series. 3 cautions tonight in 71 laps. We're going to have 4 in 75 here momentarily. The matter is if we get to see the end of the stage under green or not. Green flag flies and away we go. And Oberstadt got clear of John Hagen. A little bit of coordination there. Denny gets ahead of Henderson. More coordination there in the top 4. To go in the stage. Oberstadt, Hagen, Denny, and Henderson, your top 4. Kissenweather in 5th, Sharp in 6th. They're all single file at the moment. Don't rock the boat too awful hard if you don't have to at the front of the field, because that is the back of the field's job to do so. 3 to go in the stage. Caitlin Hyde barely in the top 10 at the moment. Trying to work with Dean Clavitt to make some inroads here on the top 10. And it's not working. It's not working. Coming to 2 to go in the stage. Can they finally make some inroads here? We're going to find out what they've got. Outside lane, beginning to move a little bit. Kissenweather moves up the racetrack. What does Henderson do? Does Henderson go top of the track as well? No, he doesn't. Wow. I was certain he was going to go to block that off, but he didn't. Bad bump there between Kissenweather and Clavitt. They are on a tear right now, trying to get to the front. This is coming to the white flag in stage 2. Oberstadt leads, but it's not by much. Kissenweather having the run of a lifetime. Kissenweather, Clavitt, and Height. Outside lane prevailing for the first time tonight. Kissenweather goes to the bottom. And now it's Clavitt that leads the outside lane. Henderson now almost on the verge of being out of the stage points altogether. He took a calculated risk, based on what he learned in stage 1, and it's not worked. Here comes Caitlin Height. Team support behind. That is David Spiel behind her. Remember, 35 points out of the cut line. David Spiel Jr., 4 points out of the cut line going into tonight. This is coming to the end of stage 2. Stage 2 run to the line. It is going to be the hands of Caitlin Height. David Spiel Jr. gets second place over Dean Clavitt. And we have not seen the stage break yet. Normally there would have been a stage caution there. I'm surprised there hasn't been. Information that we had at hand, apparently the stage break might have been on lap 70. Wait for confirmation, because the information that we have on our screen is lap 75. Which is what we're basing all of our information off of here. So if it was 70, then that last caution would have been it, and we're good to go to the finish. And we'll wait for confirmation from HTL officials here on that. And the caution comes out, and that is for a caution further back in the field. Susie involved, Tyler Ratliff involved, Hunter Peach involved, as well as KJ Gibney, it looks like, the 8 car. And that will give Austin Mongold the free pass. So there's our 4th caution of the night. It's not what we were expecting it. And here's what happened further down the order. 3 wide, further back in the field. See what we can gather from all of this. Oh, this is Susie getting turned off the nose of Peach. Ratliff, all the cars in the inside lane involved there. Taub gets slammed to the outside wall there by Peach. Hard hit by Ratliff as well. So 2 of the NFG cars slammed into the wall there. Gibney looks like he spins on his own trying to avoid the melee. So he's not really a part of this, I don't believe. I'll double check, but he's still not going to get the free pass. He does spin. A little sympathy spin here, but he does not tip the wall in either direction, which is convenient, because that would have probably put an end to his day. But it is trouble for Josh Susie, and we'll see why. This is Susie. Let's see what he's got here. He's in the inside lane. Looks like he's in the middle entering turn 3. Good old Chopper Cam's going to help us out here. He's in the middle and coming into turn 3 because it's Dustin Hall behind him. Josh Arnold's to the outside, the right side. Lily Sharp to the left. A little bit of space in between Peach and Sharp. Teammates there for NFG. Susie goes in, begins to cover that space up. Looks like he decides that he's going to stay in the middle. He's riding up the racetrack as if he's going to. That kind of might be on Peach. If you're looking at it, he kind of just drives right through him. Spatial awareness is a very valuable thing, unfortunately. Susie's going to have the belief that he's there. That's hard. That's a very hard decision to make if you're the race stewards, because Susie's kind of he's not committing to either lane, the outside or the inside, or the middle of the outside. Let me try that again: the middle or the inside lane. But at the same time, Peach is playing it a very dangerous and close game. That could be rule 50-50, because Susie should know better than to sit in the middle of both lanes. He should commit to one or the other. And for Hunter Peach, he should know better than to try to play bumper tag with the quarter panel. That's hard. That is a hard situation, and unfortunately, it affects multiple cars here. Asa Mongol gets the free pass, and he will get ready to go racing once again. Susie will have some extended repairs to do, as will Tyler Ratliff. Both of them involved in prior incidents use their fast repairs already. And that leaves Caitlin Height, your Daytona 500 champion, in the race lead at once again on a plate track with some team support with the help of David Smith Jr. Would not be surprised if they try to coordinate this restart as well. Lily Sharp and Jeremy Braille in row 2 is how things will stack up for the second restart as well in row 2. Wadsworth and Kissenweather, row 3. Oberstadt Hagen, row number 4. Denny and Thompson, row 5. And I have gotten word that it was lap 70 for the stage break, not 75 like the information we were given. So that's why Henderson didn't fight on that restart to make any inroads towards lap 75, because he had already got the stage points. Which is fair. It's good to know. For our restart here on lap 81 is what we're coming to right now, with Height and Schmiel leading the way. Sharp and Braille third and fourth. Everyone still has at least one pit stop to go here. It looks like should be a pretty easy one stop from here to get to the end of the race. Coming to 36 laps to go here in Talladega. Pace car pulls off, and it's the long wait to the restart zone. Caitlin High hits that restart zone now, and away we go. Gets a giant leapfrog ahead of Lily Sharp, and it's going to allow Smeal and Braille squeaks his way in, clears himself to do so, was not being denied an opportunity there to get to the bottom lane, because we know the long runs are bottom lane favorite by every stretch of the imagination. Kissing Weather tries to get to the inside lane as well, gets allowed into the inside lane by Swatsworth. Thompson leads the outside lane once again, then it's Denny, and then Patrick Oberstadt in the inside lane. It is actually Ross Baxter on the outside lane behind Denny. Whoa, trouble for Oberstadt, trouble for Oberstadt. Trouble for Oberstadt, and the air's the yellow. Oh, huge hit there for Markowski. Oh, that's two of them. Two of the Carolina Airfield racing cars out. What happened to Oberstadt? Did he get turned into the infield? Both of them had the tow. What happened in the trioval? This is from the spotter deck. I don't think he gets touched by Henderson. No, he doesn't. Oh, he 100% doesn't. Oh, huge hit there by Markowski. Yeah, nowhere for either of them to go there. That looks like another technical failure for Carolina Buell Racing. That's the second of the race. Markowski had one earlier and came back. Second of the race, third in 2 weeks. Remember, Markowski had a failure at Las Vegas last week. And that puts two of the contenders. For Markowski, not so much a contender after his first failure. Oberstadt was absolutely a contender. And now their races are done. Both of their races are over. Huge technical failure. Back to live pictures here. And that is unfortunate for Carolina Buell Racing. The highs and the lowest of lows. Unfortunately. And this should let everyone come down pit lane here, and this will get them to the end of the race. So it's going to be a full push to the end here in Talladega. I can't wait to hear what happened to Patrick Oberstadt and figure out what happened to that 60 car that looks so strong for so much of this race. We'll have nothing to show for it here. Fuel only for Caitlin Height. Oh, trouble! Taub got turned. Huge trouble for Kyle Taub. Turned off the nose of Jeremy Braille as they were coming out of pit lane. This puts KJ Gibney and Eli Sasek back on the lead lap. KJ Gibney, there he is from the spotter stand. Getting that free pass. He's going to come down pit lane here, top off of fuel, and he's going to be good to go for the rest of the race as well. And then Eli Sasek, who's going to try to get the wave around here in the 9 car. He will still need to make a pit stop, which he cannot do getting the wave around. And with that, we are going to step aside for a brief moment. A word from the series setup provider and Team Conti Sim Performance. Don't go anywhere because we got more racing to come. The end of the BFL 400 is coming at you after this. Welcome back, everyone, to HTL Cup Series racing on ABN, the BFL 400 here at Talladega. Race 21 of 25 in the season. As we get ready to go underway for the 5th restart of the night, Eli Sasek, the last car on the lead lap, just got the wave around 25 cars on the lead lap. Tucker Sawyer, the next car, a lap down. To try to get that wave around, Patrick Oberstadt has rejoined the race. He is also... He's 2 laps down, excuse me. Dale Markowski's race is over, as is that of Richard Odie. So 27 cars still running. And a chance for chaos still, as things are coming up into the front of the field. All playoff drivers in the top 5. It's Hagan, Braille, Caitlin Height, Shad Swatsworth, and Mark Kissenweather in your top 5 for this restart. The standings, as they were going in, it's going to be a very different looking top 8 at the end of tonight. Hunter Peach, Mark Kissenweather, Josh Susi, all in relative safety, but safety is so close to not being such the case. And it's been trouble for Josh Susi today. 2 cautions involved with him today. He is out of fast repairs, and he is trying to hold on for the rest of this race. Davis Mills Jr. trying to get into the top 8. Head a little sharp. Right now, based on stage points, he is. It's whether or not he can stay that way. Huge shout out to the series setup provider in Team Conti Center Performance as we get ready to go back racing here in Talladega. Bunch of cars top off with fuel, so it's a longer single file train on the inside lane. 5 cars on the outside have all the work to do, and green flag flies. Hagan used the outside lane to get clear of Braille, will move to the inside, as did the Militia Racing Team cars that were on the outside lane as well. As well as Bailey Thompson, the 27. Dustin Hall also moved into the inside lane, so everyone's smart to knowing the status of the race has changed over these next 30 laps, because it is going to be a fuel save number to have to hit if this stays green to the rest. Coming at 29 laps to go here in Talladega. Everyone in the maximum fuel save mode that they can be in right now. A caution changes that. Top out the fuel and you're good to go. There's some that are not fuel saving, or some that are trying to get to the front, so it's easier for them to get track position. Austin Mongold, who just recently got back on the lead lap, he is moving to the front, and I think he's got support. I believe that's Patrick Oberstadt. It is the 60 of Oberstadt, who is rearing his head around because he's trying to get one of his laps back. He is 2 laps down. Out Mongol gets to the front of the field, and you've got a chance. Meanwhile, and it's moved everyone along here. Caitlin Height back to the front, leading the outside lane with support from Henderson and from Sasek. Again, different conversations being had at this point. Fuel save or no? Hagan leading the way. Wasn't going to be able to save fuel leading this race. Now he can if he wants to. Because the number they've got to hit is 32 laps. They've got to go 32 laps on this tank of fuel. Lily Sharp went 32 on the dot. Could not go any further than that. One caution saves this field enough fuel to make it to the end without a stop. A green-white checkered makes everyone need to stop. And you see most of the field is in the fuel safe strategy. There are some that are not, but most of the field right now is in fuel safe strategy mode because they are looking outside their window on a standard tank of fuel. Lily Sharp tried to save fuel and couldn't do it in stage 1. But now everyone knows the barometer for what you can save in a run, and that is 32 laps. You can get 2 extra laps out of it if you save. Caitlin Height not in that fuel safe position. Arguably, neither is Blake Henderson. Lily Sharp saved those 2 laps of fuel in the same spot John Hagan is in right now. John Hagan, the better driver than Lily Sharp. So we'll see what Hagan can do when he puts his mind to it. He's been aggressive all race long. He's either going to continue to be aggressive or he's going to save as much as he can. And looking at the space he's leaving to Sasek, he is saving as much as he can. He is letting these top 5 run to their heart's content because he is saving fuel off of all of them. Denny in the top 5, Gibney in the top 5. Caitlin Height leads. 26 laps to go. It is a race against the clock. It is a race against the fuel mileage. How much can you stretch your fuel tank? Car off the pace, about to go a lap down is Tucker Sawyer. Once again, about to go a second lap down. He got 1 lap back using the wave around. Not only does he have to make a pit stop still, but he's going to go a lap down still because he is still wounded from earlier. Lap stick away, long single file train. 3 cars on the outside, not saving fuel. They're trying to gain track position here. That is Denny, Gibney, and it was Santiago. Santiago up to 8th, spent most of this race a lap down as well. He will slot in behind that of Austin Mongol. Oh, sorry, ahead of Austin Mongol. He is slotting in behind Patrick Oberstadt, the lap down car. Everyone's letting Caitlin Height, your Daytona 500 winner, start off the season, lead this train, knowing that leading this race, you cannot save fuel and you cannot make it to the end. But it is a very telltale sign. The 2 leading the inside lane are the 2 that have nothing to lose in the championship's conversation. They are outside the championship 8 cutoff line. They enter tonight's race 13th and 14th in points. Almost a full race back in those points. A win locks you in, unless you're Caitlin Height. Caitlin Height missed the first 2 races of the playoffs. Needs as many points as possible. Henderson could win and get in, so he can fuel save his way forward. And I think it's in Henderson's best interest. He's not touched the 3 of Caitlin Height at all since we went back green. He's hoping that Denny and Gibney are able to get in front of Caitlin Height here, so he doesn't have to carry the load of leading that inside lane. Because it doesn't matter if Gibney and Denny lead the line, because they're not playoff contenders. They're not championship contenders. They missed out. Gibney being part-time, Denny just having a really rough season. Henderson really hoping that they take the bait and they go to the front. Denny's, for all of his might, trying to. Kalen Heights banking on a caution. Because a caution, remember, a caution that is not the green light checker, that is not overtime, would save them enough fuel, would save everybody enough fuel to get to the end. If we get overtime under any circumstances, everyone needs fuel. So the conditions are set here at Talladega for the final 21 laps of this race. There'll be 21 laps to go when they get around the start-finish line next time by. Cars moving forward as well. That is Eli Sasek and Kyle Tal, it looks like. I'll have to double check here. That is not Sasek, that is Flores, who is a lap down. 2 laps down, excuse me. And I do have to make an apology here. I call out that it was Tucker Sawyer that was about to go a lap down. It was actually Flores that was going a lap down because he messed up his restart and lost the draft early. So he went his 2nd lap down just now, which is where he's at right now. We saw Tucker Sawyer tail end of this field a lap down. He is in safety. He is saving fuel, and if he gets another caution like he's hoping, he'll be back on the lead lap to contend for what's left of this race as we start 20 laps to go. And Henderson got his wish. Henderson 100% got his wish. Denny and Gibney got ahead of Caitlin Height. It is now Henderson and Sasek on their little breakaway. The top 3 are trying to set sail because none of them are saving fuel. Caitlin Height spent too much time at the front of the field to save fuel. She is at a deficit. Anderson, Sasek, Hagan, what they're trying to do is keep hold of this top 3 so they can save fuel off of them, and then to beat those 3 in the conversation for the race lead at the end of this race when they come down pit lane. But those 3 cars are on a breakneck pace right now. They are trying to go. 19 to go. For comparison, laps since they last pit on your screen right now. Everyone's got to go a pretty decent chunk of change. They've already gone 14 laps or more. Sasek has not pit. Remember, he took the wave around to get back on the lead lap, so he's got a pit stop coming his way within the next 10 to 12 laps. When we get to lap 101, when we finish lap 100, that'll be the halfway mark for this fuel run to get to the end of the race. Denny leads, Gibney 2nd, Caitlin Height in 3rd. We believe all 3 of them, with how much they're pushing, they need a pit stop to get to the end. A race win does not help Caitlin Height. It does not lock her in. She missed Darlington. She missed Watkins Glen. She cannot be locked in on a race win. What she can do, if this does work out, she can grab all the points that she possibly can to help her case going into Fontana next week. Across the line, we hit the century mark, 100 laps underway, 17 to go. Denny, Gibney, Height, Henderson, Sasek, your top 5. Less than 20 laps to go. We haven't done it yet this race. For the most torturous time period of the race. Let's crank it up. less than 10 laps to go here in Talladega. You saw, as soon as we went to crank it up, Caitlin Height, KJ Gibney, and Alfred Denny came down pit lane. Alfred Denny spun on pit lane, got an unsafe pit entry, sort of penalty. So he is now the first car a lap down as things sit. You saw the comparison, 2 seconds a lap faster, but it is not close to enough right now. Everyone picking up the pace, though, at the front of the field, and this is going to change the dynamic of things. If the caution comes out, Caitlin Height and KJ Gibney and Alfred Denny look like geniuses in comparison. Some people either have given up on trying to save fuel or think that they have saved enough. Henderson knows he is not. So he is still in that process of saving fuel at the moment. We know Eli Sasek needs to come down pit lane. We know he does. Tucker Sawyer, 1 lap down, and here it goes. Sasek down pit lane now. It is now in the hands of Josh Susi, who I believe is going to try to keep a hold of having Tucker Sawyer at the front of the field with them, to try and save enough fuel to get to the end here. 7 laps to go. The track map on the right-hand side of your screen. We'll keep that up for a little bit longer. Just kind of show you where everyone's at. And trouble, whoa, trouble, trouble, trouble. And there's a caution. Huge crash, that's the big one. Huge hit for Meredith Henderson involved. And that's the caution everyone was waiting for. Huge hits for multiple cars out of turn 2. And that will likely be the end of Henderson's race here. He has got no steering at all right now in the 25 car. Tucker Sawyer getting to the front of the field, bails himself out. Alfred Denny will get the free pass. Cars all over the place on the back straightaway. We'll take a look at what happened here. Huge trouble. Blake Henderson, a huge hit for him, and he's the one that gets moved by Santiago. On board the chopper cam, AB in slow motion. Remember, Henderson's still trying to save fuel. Santiago goes below the yellow line, comes back up. Getting pushed there by Josh Arnold. Santiago gets below the yellow line again and just tags Henderson and hooks him. Hits that transition, that second yellow line, that transitions to the apron. He tries to save it, but then it flattens out on him. Huge hit for Kissenweather, for Arnold. Oh, Meredith's going to have a very violent hit, too. He gets hit by Kyle Taub, so 3 of the 4 Militia Racing Club cars. Tags Oberstadt. Meredith back in first. Hard hit for him. Violent crash here, and it will set us up for a very short dash to the finish. Caitlin Height, KJ Gibney, they look like geniuses right now, because they were out of the way of that. They were able to avoid all of it. Denny gets the free pass, so his issue negated ultimately in that. Tucker Sawyer now gets the chance to get a free pass later on. He's the first car lap down. He had to take fuel anyway. He could not make it to the end. You see Henderson just trying to make it back to pit lane under his own power, and he did. So Henderson will not go a lap down. He will still be in contention for this race. He will just have to do so from the back of the field. 20th spot for him is how that'll all play out. Light's still on the pace car, so we'll take another look here. And we'll take a look from the onboard here of Zach Meredith, who had a really rough ride. And we'll actually have to back it up just a second. to really get a full gauge of how this all played out here. This is on board with Zach Meredith, who is now sitting in 23rd and still on pit lane. Everyone checks up once, checks up a second time. You can see from that onboard how sudden it was for Henderson. It bottoms out and unloads, and the car just snaps dead right. On board with Henderson. And again, this is mid-crash, so we have to back it up a little bit. Pat by Santiago. You see he's already feathering the throttle, trying to save it. There's not a whole lot he can do for it. Thankfully, he had his fast repair in hand, which is, I think, the best way to put it there. He had the fast repair in hand to bail himself out there. So here we go. And that pulls the field back together again, so we no longer need the trap map. Susie, Clavitt, your top two. They will lead the field to green. Susie once again picks the outside lane for the restart here. Davis Muir Jr., fourth place for him. He's on the outside lane. Tyler Ratliff on the inside lane in third. Austin Mongold and Ross Baxter in row number 3. As we said. We'll be going green with 3 laps to go. Remember, we need to see the white flag for this race to be official. If a caution comes out before we get to the white flag, before we get to the final lap, we will have overtime. Susie from the outside lane will lead the field to green. It's the 2 main natives leading the field forward. To 3 laps to go, what could be the final restart of the race. Pace car is in. It's a long wait. The anticipation builds, and so does the impatience. Green flag flies, and away we go. Very cheeky restart there by Susie and by Davis Muir Jr. They're going to get to the front of the field, and they're going to get clear into turn 1. Clavitt didn't really have much of a chance there. And so did Ross Baxter. Look at that 38 car. Was a lap down earlier in this race, now sitting top 3. And whoa, trouble. That was Ratliff off the nose of Mongold. They're going to be 4 wide. Ratliff gets hip checked by Mongold again. I have a strong feeling we're not going to make it back to the white flag. We're coming to 2 laps to go. Susie leads over Smeal, over Baxter, over Clavitt, Braille, and Hagen, your top 6. 2 to go. 5.2 miles to go. Everyone trying to make moves. Here comes Braille to the front. Braille in the playoffs. A win would lock him in. Outside lane with a lot of help. He moves to the bottom, gives the outside lane to Peach. Bold move by Braille. It is Peach in Spotsworth. Peach goes to the bottom. 12 behind. Baxter gets turned. Caution comes out, and we will have overtime. And it was Peach in the lead. I do not know why you would give up the outside lane like that, but both Peach and Braille did that. And had it have gone green, Swatsworth would have been in the best position possible. Instead, caution comes out. Ross Baxter gets turned in the melee. And we'll see what happens here. It's a little bit further back from this group. It is Ross Baxter who's inside lane. He gets moved by Clav at the 90. Slow motion. We're going to get a good look at it here. Baxter opens the door, something like what Susie did earlier in this race, opens the door to the inside lane. Clavitt fills it because you're coming to the white flag. You've got to. Baxter almost saves it. Hits the transition, bounces off. It looks like Sasic there as well. And I think clips Peltier sharp. Yeah, absolutely. And what was looking so promising for Baxter went so sour so quick. Some cars will come down pit lane because now we're in overtime. The mileage is going to hurt a little bit. Each and Braille, Dustin Hall, and Josh Susie think they can make it. So does David Smeal Jr. They think they can make it from their lap 84 pit stop. Caitlin Height pit on lap 101. She's in 5th. Bottom of your screen is the top 5 running order. Caitlin Height is the best on fuel. This is going to be very interesting. KJ Gibney also pit on lap 101. Lead that is free pass to Tucker Sawyer. It is. Tucker Sawyer gets the free pass. We'll get back on the lead lap in the 24th position. We have overtime guaranteed. So here we are getting ready for the first overtime attempt. We have 3 attempts at overtime here in the HTL Cup Series. This is the first of 3. As it was before, we need to see the white flag for this race to be official. If we have a caution on the restart, before we get to the white flag, we will rack them up and try again. Lights go on the pace car, which means we are going green at the end of this lap. laps to go. Peach, Brayout, Hall, Susie, Caitlin Height, your top 5. Ooh, the nerves are up on this one. It's to try to lock yourself into the championship 8 here at Talladega. Everyone's going to be on pins and needles through the restart zone. Away we go, and Hunter Peach gets us going. Trouble. Oh, huge hit. Huge hit for Brayout, for Dustin Hall, and for others. Susie involved. Someone else hit the wall really hard. Just up the road. It was Austin Mongold. Wow. Waiting with bated breath, seeing how it turned out, and it turned out poorly. Brayout turned from the front of the field. Second attempt at overtime coming up, and this is exactly what happened. This is as he got turned, and that was by Susie. Both of them involved in this in massive ways. Slow down and go to the chopper cam for Avian slow-mo. Peach on the inside lane. Dustin Hall got hooked straight up the hill as well, because that's who Brayout got turned into. Brayout moves to the outside lane. Susie looks like he's going to follow, but he's getting pushed heavily by Zach Meredith. And Brayout gets hooked immediately right into the door of Hall. Caitlin Height, another near miss in that 3-car. Ooh, hard hit there, and it's Meredith that tags the wall, actually. Mongold gets a piece of it too there further behind, but it's Meredith that we saw drift out of screen. It looks like he gets away largely unscathed. Mongold gets turned down the hill by Oberstadt, who has nowhere to go. Brayout bounces Dustin Hall into a spin again. Hard hits for just about everybody in that. Meredith stays out. A pit stop's happening right now for those that needed to either take fuel or get damage repairs. Meredith thinks he's good to stay out. So right on board with him here. Riding on board, this is with Zach Meredith. I don't think he's okay. I would be very, very surprised if he's okay on that one. He takes a pretty hard snap. We'll take another look at it here. And we'll drop back here. This all happened so quick. Meredith bounces off the quarter panel of Gibney in the 8th. Hard hit there. That is for sure. You can see the buckling on the panels there on the hood of the car. It's not flush anymore. But Meredith right now sitting 3rd. You can see that that's all active right now. 3rd place is where he's at right now. We'll actually go back to live pictures here. Oh, goodness gracious me. Brayout down in 20th. And the trouble begins. It is Caitlin Height. It is KJ Gibney, Zach Meredith, Blake Henderson, and Bailey Thompson, your front of the field here tonight. There's not a lot of time left in this race. Second attempt at an overtime finish is where we sit right now. go back racing here. Lights out on the pace car. Height, Gibney, Meredith, Henderson, Thompson, your top 5. This is going to be interesting. Second attempt at an overtime finish. The sun is setting quickly. It is genuinely becoming a race against the clock. This track does not have lighting at all. No lighting to speak of here at Talladega. This has happened once before in HTL, where they had to race to the lights and they had to call it due to darkness. This is going to be very intriguing. We'll grab an onboard shot. We'll grab an onboard shot here from Caitlin Height. Kind of show you how dark it actually is. It is not that bright right now. Sunset right now just beyond turn 3 and the front straightaway. So there's a little bit of light going where they're going towards right now. It is darker out of turn 2. And it will not get any better as this run goes along. This is on board with Caitlin Height. See that bottom of your screen, the 3 car ready to go racing. And so are we for the second overtime attempt here in Talladega. It is Height and Gibney, teammates front row. Meredith, Henderson, Thompson, row 2 and 3. Alfred Denny outside row 3. As they approach the restart zone and get ready to go racing, here we go. Green flag flies once again. Height with a great restart. Remember, Gibney not racing his teammates with Caitlin Height this time around. So Caitlin Height did not clue Gibney in. But also, Caitlin Height looking at Blake Henderson and Bailey Thompson right behind her. If either of those two win, it makes her job even harder. Because both of them also in the same position. Compton! Third restart coming up here. Huge hit for Swatsworth. Inside wall for Swatsworth. Other cars turn. Taub involved as well. That is Ratliff also turned on the back straightaway. Multiple cars involved in that. I believe Tucker Sawyer got clear of that. We'll see who all is involved here momentarily. Third restart coming up. This is going to be our last attempt at an overtime finish. If we get another yellow, it's over. So let's take a look. Replay coming up. This is down the back straightaway. We're going to need a better angle than this one. Once again, the chopper getting a workout here. This is from high above. Keep an eye. The 54 is second car in line on the very far right lane. That's the 19 and the 54. You can't really see the red lettering at all on the 54 car. But he is the second car there behind Lily Sharp. And it actually starts on the inside lane. Taub checks up behind Santiago, gets turned by Swatsworth. And Swatsworth's going to see a little bit of instant karma. Clavitt gets pushed in. Yeah, Clavitt gets a big hit there from Ratliff. Peach gets involved again. You saw the Swatsworth hit and how big that one was. Almost jacks that car off the ground. How violent that was. Taub saves it from major damage there. Ratliff not so lucky. Ends up middle of the racetrack. Getting his bearings. See the nose of that Toyota Camry all crumpled up. A lot of Toyotas involved in that one. 3 Toyotas and a Ford. Ford of Dean Clavitt all involved in that. Swatsworth, Taub, Ratliff all coming down pit lane. Clavitt stays out. So we're back at it again. Here in the HTL Cup Series, third overtime attempt in the VFL 400. Again, it's all about points. It's all about trying to lock yourself into the playoffs. Caitlin Height inside lane once again, it looks like on this restart coming up. Gibney second, Meredith third, Henderson fourth. Meredith and Henderson swapping positions from that last restart attempt. Thompson in fifth. then Denny in 6th. So the top 6 largely unchanged, minus the flip-flop of positions there by Meredith and Henderson. Some cars out of this race. Only 3 cars out at the moment. Mark Kissenweather, 3rd retirement in 4 races for him. Josh Gaiman did not start this race, so he will not be classified as 30th at all. He does not appear on this. I don't believe he appears on the table at all either. Joe Markowski out with another mechanical issue. Actually, no, he got involved in an accident and had to retire from the car, but he had a mechanical issue earlier in the race. And then Richard Odie out as well. Your 3 official retirements of this race as things sit here in Talladega. Leaves 26 cars still rolling. 24 on the lead lap. Dustin Hall 1 lap down. Patrick Oberstadt 2 laps down. Those 26 cars still running. Caitlin Height will lead KJ Gibney, Zach Meredith, Blake Henderson, Bailey Thompson, Alfred Denny, Josh Arnold, Lily Sharp, Zach Apperson, and Angel Santiago. That is your full top 10. John Hagan down in 11th. Ross Baxter is recovered to 12th from his earlier spin. Hunter Peach down in 13th. It's Eli Sasek, Davis Mill Jr., Jimmy Braille, Austin Mongol, Josh Susi. A lot of those cars having to take fast repairs to get themselves back in contention here, but they've got a lot of work to do from beyond 15th in the field. Car coming out of pit lane, I do believe that was Kyle Tao. It was. 16 will rejoin the back of the field. Got it close there with the pace car. He does not have a fast repair remaining, so he's going to be off pace. He's hoping for carnage on the white flag. If a caution comes out before we get to the white flag, the race is over and he won't get anything out of it. It really feels like Talladega with the sun setting and us fully in dusk conditions right now. It's a good thing this is the last attempt at an overtime finish. Sun almost completely behind the trees and the track almost completely bathed in the nighttime. It gets harder and harder to see as visibility goes along. We'll actually hop on board here with your 2-time defending champion, Josh Susi. It is getting darker. You see the onboard there from the roof of the car. In the race car, a little bit darker than what it was before in the last restart. The sun setting more and more off to the west. The defending champion right now sits in the 18th position outside row 9. It's all eyes front of the field here in Talladega for the final restart of the race. That is a guarantee. There are no more restarts after this. There can't be. Do we get to make it to the white flag, or does this race end under caution? We're going to find out. Height, Gibney, Meredith, Henderson, Thompson, and Denny, your top 6. Green flag flies, and away we go. A lot more even restart that time around. Gibney trying everything he can. Henderson was not in on it. He was trying to get to the inside lane. That's just not going to work. Here comes Hagan to the outside lane. He's looking for a chance to go to the front. But he's a one-man crew up front right now on that outside lane. He's had a little bit of help from Baxter. But they've got a hard hill to climb and not a lot of time to do it. Meredith in second. Caitlin Height leads. Bailey Thompson third. Josh Arnold in fourth. Thompson's looking for her first race win in HTL. Trouble, car spin. And the caution's out. That'll end the race. Huge crash. It will be Caitlin Height your race winner here in Talladega. Zach Meredith and Bailey Thompson will round out the podium, and that will end the PFL 400 here in Talladega. The race will be over. Henderson getting himself back into position. He went all the way down into 8th place, it looks like. At the end, when the caution was called, he was set to drop out of the top 10 entirely with how badly the outside lane had moved. Meredith letting Caitlin Height get back ahead here for this final lap. It'll be Bailey Thompson in 3rd behind Caitlin Height. And we'll let the leaders cross the line and take the checkered flag officially before we look at what happened on that final lap. Several cars involved: Lily Sharp, Austin Mongold, Elias Flores, Dean Clavitt, Kyle Taub, KJ Gibney, all involved in that. Looks like Jeremy Braille involved in that as well. Braille, Peach, Gibney, Clavitt, Susie. A lot of cars involved in all of that. It looks like so was John Hagan in that as well. Hagan was on the outside lane trying to make things work, and it unfortunately did not work for him. So we'll see how the official running order tallies up here at the end. But for Caitlin Height, the hardest job is done. It's another plate track win for the 3-car team. Mile 7 Chevrolet Camaro will come across our finish line as your race winner. Zach Meredith in 2nd, Bailey Thompson podiums in 3rd. If I'm not mistaken, first career podium in HTL for Bailey Thompson, the 27 crew. And it's going to be in the approach of darkness that Caitlin Height will celebrate her 17th career HTL Cup Series victory. It does not lock her into the championship 8 due to her missing the first 2 races of the playoffs. However, it is a very big start with Fontana looming in 7 days. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at what happened that caused this race to end under caution. This is coming down towards the start-finish line, so we're not far away here. We're going to need, once again, the chopper cam for the last time, and it is further back in the running order. It looks like this starts with Henderson, Gibney, and Smeal. So Henderson, I think, gets away with one. He finishes 8th place tonight. This is on board with Henderson. Middle 3. I think we'll have to back it up here and kind of grab. We see how this all starts, but we need to see if Henderson was in the middle or if he had tried to make a lane. You can see, I think it paints a pretty good picture. He's a little bit desperate here. He knows that he's not going to be able to get anywhere here. He's thinking big time points because he has to. He's outside the championship 8 right now. Goes to the middle. I don't know if Gibney's trying to close him off or if he gets hooked and it closes him off automatically. Hit there. There's Sharp that gets spun around backwards, looking at the rest of the field coming at her. Peach gets tagged. And it is a certified disaster further back in the field. Sharp goes for a wild ride. Peach goes for a wild save. Susie not really involved in that. He was doing a lot of evading action for everything that was going on here. And does a pretty good job of it, all things considered. That's a wild ride through the grass that he avoids making contact with Peach. Peach does not avoid making contact with Braille, unfortunately. He goes for a wild ride, ends up 23rd. You see how that happens there, and he's going to hit the wall hard on that run. That is unfortunate for a lot of the field there, trying to make something happen at the end, knowing that it's a race against the clock and against the daylight. See how things pan out here. But for Caitlin Height, it is a victory, 17th career win for Caitlin Height. We'll go through the full results here while we wait for everyone to get ready for interviews here in Talladega. It is Caitlin Height from 14th on the grid to grab the race win ahead of Zach Meredith and Bailey Thompson. Zach Meredith, a great run for him. Again, after finishing 4th in Las Vegas, finishes 2nd tonight here in Talladega. Bailey Thompson, first career podium for 26th on the grid. Josh Arnold helps himself out a ton. 4th place for him ahead of Zach Apperson. Another top 10, this time his first top 5 of the season in 5th. Angel Santiago 6th. Davis Moore Jr. up to 7th. He recovers nicely. Blake Henderson in 8th. Alfred Denny in 9th. Hunter Peach rounds out your top 10 again in 20th. Eli Sasek and Josh Susi round out your top 12 here tonight. Tyler Ratliff, John Hagan, all the cars on your screen finished this race on the lead lap. I want to make that clear. On the lead lap is how everyone ended up here. I do not believe this is official. So unofficial results, keep that in mind. This is where all the accident happened in the race. So a lot of these positions might shuffle, but unofficially Tyler Ratliff 13th, John Hagan in 14th place at the end of this race. I've seen conflicting reports between 14th and 16th, so we'll wait for HTL officials to clarify that. Ross Baxter 15th though on your screen, Dean Clavitt 16th, Austin Mongol, Tucker Sawyer, Kyle Taub, Elias Flores, KJ Gibney, Lily Sharp, Jeremy Braille, and Shad Swansworth, your top 24 here. Swansworth and Braille, they crossed the start-finish line 12th and 13th. So I do wonder how much of this is accurate. But all of them are on the lead lap here. 2 laps down is where you'll find Dustin Hall in the 25th position. Patrick Oberstadt, the last finisher, in 26th. 3 retirements, and it did not start. Kissenweather, Markowski, and Odie, 27th, 28th, and 29th. They failed to finish. Josh Gaiman qualified, did not start tonight here in Talladega. And that will make him the first elimination officially from the playoffs, as he will not be classified as starting this race and will no longer be able to win and get in California next week. Those are your results here. We'll go ahead and start with our 3rd place finisher here tonight from Talladega, Bailey Thompson, first career podium in HTL Cup Series competition. And it's a wild race through and through. Walk us through the race, especially having to finish this race under darkness and the visibility that was going away there at the end.
Yeah, it got very concerning near the end because I had to, lift the visor up just so I could see. But I feel very proud of myself today. I think I did great coming from 26 to 3rd.
It was a great effort for the 27 crew tonight. A great effort for all the Unforgiven and the Tombstone Motorsports crews going into this race. This was a much needed race. Didn't show up to Las Vegas last week, so not able to win and get in. But this helps the points conversation a significant amount going into Fontana. How big was getting this first podium off your back here at a race as chaotic as this race was? Because it seemed like there was never any level of comfort in this race.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you saw in the broadcast, I was in the middle of every single wreck as well. So I don't know how I got through all these wrecks and made it up, but it's so relieving to finally get that first podium. I know I've gotten in non-points events, but to finally get it in a points event at my home track, it's pretty sweet. I can't lie.
And obviously a phenomenal job here. Obviously this race ends under caution tonight, but obviously that 27 car looks strong. Had that race been able to go that last lap under green, being that 3rd car in line, what was the decision making going to be if you're going to try to go for that race win here at home?
It was really just I was gonna follow Meredith. That was my thing. I was like, well, I'm behind him, gonna see what I could do. If I got a gap, I was gonna try to shoot for it. But it really was just waiting on Meredith to get clear. I think he was gonna wait for me to get clear as well, so we could both go up and try something. But we were definitely looking very strong that nearly final lap.
A phenomenal job for the 727 crew. The first time on the podium here in a points event in the HTL Cup Series at your home track. Your playoff chances very much still alive tonight. Some stage points to go with it here tonight as well. Before we let you go and let you celebrate and obviously get ready for California coming up here next Monday, Bailey, I think you've heard this enough from seeing this on the other side. But if there's anyone to shout and say thank you to, the floor is yours. Congratulations on your first career podium. After the near miss in Michigan, got to feel even sweeter.
Oh yeah, it feels very sweet. I want to thank everyone at Unforgiven and Tombstone, Blake, Alfred, especially Alfred. He kind of was the one that got me to Tombstone, and since then I've never had so much fun racing with a group of people. Those guys also want to shout out Nate Blankenship. Uh, he's been a sponsor on the car for this whole season, and he's been very supportive. Want to shout out just everyone that's kind of been there with me, and definitely gonna dedicate this one for my dad.
A phenomenal run for Bailey Thompson. Third place tonight. A lot closer to the cut line going into California next Monday. Third place, Bailey Thompson at home here in Talladega. Bailey, enjoy the podium, and we'll see you again next Monday in California.
Thank you, Carmen.
That was third place finisher Bailey Thompson, finishing third at home, first career podium. You heard it yourself from Bailey. A great feeling to get that at home. No place like home there, and a phenomenal drive for the 27 crew. Another phenomenal drive for the 17 of Zach Meredith, former HTL Cup Series champion, putting on a little bit of a hot streak since becoming a father earlier this year. Fourth place last week in Las Vegas, a second place tonight. Zach, walk us through it, because that 17 car was beaten and battered at points tonight.
Yeah. I don't know. This has probably been the most consistent I've been since my championship season. I mean, I have 14 races and 10 top 10s. Like, that's insane. It just sucks. I missed, 7 races this season. So I missed the playoffs by 50 points. And I missed
Something
7
like
races.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like, imagine if I didn't miss like 1 race or 2 races, right? But no, the car was fast. The outside was abysmal to try to work. This aero package is definitely something. Like, you can't pull back people like you could. It was just bottom lane dominant. So I just pick and chose when I tried to make moves. Even early in the race, I tried to jump to the outside of Sosi, and it just went straight to the back. Like, me and Hall went straight backwards. And then just trying to dodge wrecks when I could. The whole Blake wreck, I thought my car was done. But I only had 90 seconds of damage. I didn't use the fast repair. Slapped some new tires on it, drove from 22nd to 9th in a lap and a half, and then just kept dodging chaos. I just wish that last green, white, checkered caution just didn't happen, because I felt like Bailey was going to help me around Caitlin to win, and or Josh Arnold behind me or behind her to get me past Caitlin as well. So I felt like I had friends. I just needed to get to the white, and we were 600 feet from it. So not much more I could have done there. But just sucks I'm not in the playoffs, because I'd be probably going on to the next round with how consistent I've been. But I guess it would just look good on paper.
Well, the superpowers you get from being a father are definitely showing here this season. Obviously, you mentioned the consistent run of form here. It's helped out a ton for the 17 camp when you've been able to be on track here tonight. Obviously, 4 races to go in this season. You get to play spoiler once again next week in California, a track that's traditionally, statistically, been really good for you. Obviously, the great unknown with this car, everyone's figuring it out. You've got 2 top 5s in the 2 races with this new package of the Gen 7 car. Does that give you some confidence going into Fontana that you might be able to do even more and grab your 3rd career win after so long, such a winless drought for you in this series going into California next week?
Yeah, it sucks having a long winless streak. I feel like Dale Jr., like my favorite driver in the 2010s, just consistent but can't get wins. But not Atlanta. Auto Club's definitely my favorite track. Statistically, across any car in any league, it is very rare to see me do wrong or just be bad. Granted, I've had a lot of success across all the leagues, so hopefully going into that race next week, I'll be top 5 all over again. I don't know how this arrow is going to be. I mean, I don't think it's going to be much different from any other Auto Club or Michigan type race. I think it's just really just the super speedway package. I think is just really what kills this like car. Honestly, with this new update, it's still racing on other tracks. It doesn't feel that bad. That will be interesting if it's going to be a day race or a night race with a new tire model. So it just depends on, if it's going to be, nighttime, not much tire wear, or is it going to be blazing hot and, you can't touch the gas. So it all just depends on what the conditions are and who's around me, because there's not many people I trust in this league. And I think tonight showed that a lot of people could even go straight for more than 2 laps at the end. So.
Well, your car was one of the cars that definitely could. You survived a lot of the melee around you, ended up with a second place finish here tonight. Again, those dad powers showing off in fantastic form. 2 top 5s in a row here. Went from Las Vegas to Talladega. Before we let you go and let you enjoy the podium and enjoy the week as it comes to you here, if there's anyone to shout out and say thank you to, Zach, the floor is yours. Congrats on another podium here and a fantastic drive here in Talladega.
Appreciate it. Shout out to you and how you do the broadcast. It's always great to go back and watch them. The quality is great. Honestly, just shout out to all my guys. J-Paul, Mark, Kyle, Shad, and all my other buddies out there. Shout out to Byron for the paint scheme on the car. He always does a great job with my paint works. So I'm just glad I can put the car in the podium spot to show off his good work.
An outstanding work by Zach Meredith tonight, surviving the chaos, surviving with a battered race car to finish second here in Talladega with California coming up in 7 days. Zach, obviously enjoy the week, and we'll see you again in Fontana.
Thank you.
And we end off tonight with the driver of the hour, Caitlin Height, 17th career HTL Cup Series victory here tonight in Talladega. Second plate race of the season following your win at Daytona earlier to kick off season 6. It's been a wild month of June. Be able to celebrate your birthday over the weekend. Walk us through it. Obviously, got to feel pretty good after spending so much time out to grab as many points as possible tonight with that race win.
Yeah, I would have liked more stage points, but I mean, it's Stega. You can never bank on any of that. Spent a lot of time just trying to learn what this arrow was doing, and I was stuck throughout the first 2/3 of this race. I don't know. I was just making the wrong moves at the wrong time, and I was just stuck in 15th or 20th. And at the very end there, once fuel was sort of marginal for a lot of people, I was just sort of talking with Kevin there, and we were sort of working with Alfred, and I was just like, look, I don't like people slowing down the pace. I'm gonna try and force people's hands here. So the three of us tried to get down pit road together. I'm not sure what happened to Alfred, but Kevin and I just sort of stuck together there, and then we picked up Alfred again, and I guess we were making up time and just trying to... I was just gonna see where I could have finished with that, but once the caution started, I had enough fuel to where I didn't have to come back down. Had some close calls there, which I avoided, and just got lucky with the fact we couldn't even reach the white flag. So once again, with super speedways, it's a lot of luck, but I was just right place at the right time at the end.
It works out for you significantly as well. Let me try to do English again. We've been at this for 3 hours. Obviously, not being able to lock yourself in with the race win, missing Darlington and Watkins Glen, it's a longer road for you to get into the Championship 8 to battle for another championship this season. That being said, you were successful in Las Vegas, finished top 6, last week. You got a race win tonight, which helps you out significantly as well, especially with the chaos further down the order. That's going to help significantly. Fontana's a track you're pretty decent at if you're not being run into by other Toyotas. Is Fontana a place that has you full of confidence next week that you can try to possibly close the deal out and get into the top 8 at the end?
It really depends with the whole aero and tire thing going on. Still a lot to be learned. I just, for me, I'll just be busy to the point where come Monday evening at like 6:30, 7 o'clock, that's when I'm going to be able to get my reps in and figure out something to do. And hopefully, I can just rely on past experience with the track itself and, get as many points as I need to just try and make it into the final round. I'm missing the first 2 races just with work-related absences and such. It was just really difficult for me, but I mean, it's 6th place here, 1st place, as you said, it's just trying to do everything in my power to just try and claw back some points.
Well, tonight did a huge chunk of change in getting those points back here. You entered 35 points out of the championship fights below the cut line here. You're going to gain a huge chunk of those points here tonight in Talladega. Your 17th career win here tonight in Alabama. Before we let you go, let you celebrate, obviously let you rest and get ready for the busy week coming up here for you. If there's anything you want to shout out and say thank you to, anybody you want to say thank you in particular, the floor is yours. Congratulations on another victory. I believe it's your 4th or 5th of the season. I'll have to do the math again afterwards and see where you stack up this season.
Yeah, pretty sure it's just the 4th, but big shout out to Lady Liberty and Gimney Racing Division. Always trying to get our plans together and working as a team. Hate it for some of the struggles that some of our guys had, but with that, HTL admins for always putting up with us each week in and out. Obviously you up in the booth here providing the broadcasts and all of that behind the scenes stuff as well. It's always top notch. And the fans watching back at home want to say hi to Ray and Mississippi and all the others that were able to tune in tonight, and hope they enjoyed it.
Absolutely a fantastic job. Caitlin Heights' 17th career win in HTL Cup Series, extending her record as the winningest driver in series history. With 1 race to go in the round of 16 next week at Fontana. Caitlin, enjoy the race win. We'll see you in California next Monday.
All right, thank you.
A great job by Caitlin Heights here tonight. 17th career win. A wild finish under caution after using all 3 overtime attempts here in Talladega. And you can tell the lights, little that there are, already shut down here in Talladega. Again, your top 12 on your screen is Caitlin Heights, Zach Meredith, Bailey Thompson, Josh Arnold, Zach Apperson, Angel Santiago, David Smeal Jr., Blake Henderson, Alfred Denny, Hunter Peach, Eli Sasek, and Josh Susi. Unofficial results, we'll see if those change. But tentatively, we know at least what the top 3 looks like. We know tentatively what the top 10 looks like. And we will run from there. Thank you all so much for joining us here tonight. We have 4 more races in the season. Fontana next Monday, then the Championship 8, 3 races. Atlanta, Bristol, Kentucky, to get us into July. On behalf of everyone here for HTL, for the Cup Series, and everyone here at ABN Studios, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you in Fontana in 7 days' time. So long, everybody.